In this video, we will be exploring 3-digit by 1-digit division. You will need base 10 blocks. Now you can either use actual base 10 blocks if you have 1s, 10s, and 100s. But if you don't have access to physical blocks, you can click in the video link and you will find a printable set of base 10 blocks. And you can print those in black and white or color, either is fine. Or you can also access virtual base 10 blocks. And I'm using the base 10 blocks that you can find at technology.cpm.org/general/tiles. Start by building base 10 blocks that have a value of 369. Pause the video while you do that. Now what I would like you to do is split these blocks up into 3 piles so that each pile has the same total value. Pause the video while you do that. When you're done, make sure that each pile has an equivalent value. Now all you have to do is figure out the value of one pile. That will always be the question I am asking. What is the value of one pile? So let's count. 100, 110, 120, 121, 122, 123. So altogether, each pile has a value of 123. Right, clear your blocks. Now build 864. Now my space is going to get really messy, so I'm going to have to put blocks on top of blocks. But go ahead and build that. Now when you're done, break that up into 2 equal piles. And when you're done, figure out what each pile has for a total value. So each pile has 432. It looks like you've got the hang of this. So for this one, take 246 and divide it into 2 equal piles. Now what did I ask you to build? I asked you to build 246. How many piles did I ask you to divide the 246 into? I asked you to divide that into 2 piles. How many 100 blocks do you have in 246? Well, you have 2 100 blocks. How many 100 blocks did you put into each pile? Put one into this pile, and you put one into this pile. So you put one 100 block in each pile. Up here, I'm going to keep track of how much I put in each pile. So if I put one 100 in each pile, what's the value of that? It's the value of 100. And if I put 100 in the first pile and 100 in the second pile, how much have I used up altogether of my 246? Well, I used up a value of 200. So down here, I'm going to keep track of everything that I've used up. If I had a value of 246 in my blocks, and I used up 200 by putting them into the piles, how much do I have left that I need to assign out? Well, 246 minus 200 is 46. Now let's do our tens. I have 4 tens in front of me. I assign those out to groups. So how many tens did I put into each group? Well, I put 2 tens into each group. What's the value of just the tens in each group? Well, this is 10, 20. So I have a value of 20 when I look at my tens in each group. If I put 20 in the first group and 20 in the second group, what's the value that I've used up for my tens? Well, I've used up 40. If I had 46 on my table and I used up 40 by assigning it out to piles, how much do I have left on my table to deal with? I've got my 6 ones left. Well, here's my 6 ones. Let's assign that to each pile. So how many ones went into each pile? 3 did. And what's the value of 3 ones? 3. If I put 3 ones into the first pile and 3 ones into the second pile, how much have I used up? Well, I've used up 6. If I started with 6 and I used up 6, how much do I have left? 0 left. I've used them all. Now I need to take a look at what I have at the top in red. And I want to compare that to what I've built for each of the piles. When I look at this red representation of my numbers, do I see the 100 in each pile? There's my 100. There's my 100. Do I see the 20 in each pile? There's my 2 tens. There's my 2 tens. Do I see the 3 in each pile? There's my 3 ones. There's my 3 ones. And what is the total value for each pile? 123. And does this represent the 123? 123. So each pile has a total value of 123. The next question we're going to explore is 848 divided into 4 piles. So pause the video while you build 848 and then divide those into 4 equal piles and then figure out how much is in one pile. And I'll see you back here. I'll just get my board set up. So what was the total value that I asked you to build? 848. How many piles did I ask you to split that into? 4 equal piles. So when you look at all of the hundreds that you have, how many hundreds do you have? Well, you have 8 hundreds altogether. And you split that up into 4 piles. So how many hundreds went into each pile? 2 of them did. And what's the value of 2 100s? 200. And if I put 200 into the first pile, 200 into the second pile, 200 into the third pile, 200 into the fourth pile, how much have I used up so far? 800. If I started with 848 that I needed to divvy up, and I used up 800, how much do I have left? 48. Now we'll look at our tens. How many tens did you put into each pile? 1. What's the value of 110? What's the value of just the tens in each pile? The value is 10. And if I put 110, 110, 110, and 110, how much have I used up? We've used up 40 of them. And if I had 48 to use up and I used up 40 of it, what do I have left? 8. Now, how many ones went into each pile? 2 ones went into each pile. And if I had 2, 2, 2, and 2, how much have I used up? 8. And if I started with 8 and I used up 8, how much do I have left? 0. It looks like you've got the hang of this, so I think you're ready to move on to part 2. See you in the next video.